I work all day to pay the bills. I have to pay to play and eat. Ain't it sad? And still there never seems to be a single dime left. That's too bad. I have a plan to get a wealthy man. I wouldn't have to work at all.
Look at me. If I was an Asian chick,
Money, money, money.
must be funny.
In the rich man's world. Money, money, money.
In the rich man's world.
Oh.
Look at me. If I was an Asian chick,
All the things I could do if I had a little money. It's a rich man's world. It's a rich man's world. A man like that is hard to find, but I can't get him off my mind. Ain't it sad? And if he happens to be free, I bet he wouldn't fancy me. That's too bad. So I must leave, I'll have to go to the Philippines or Thailand.
look at me. If I was an Asian chick,
Money, money, money.
must
Good morning, guys. Look at me. Good morning. Good morning. Raymond is in the house. Second wind. Let's see. MB was in the house first. And of course, we have our honorary guest, Mr. Sleepyhead. He's not coming out to play today. There's Pigsy. Say good morning to Pigsy. We call her Pigsy because her tail is stumped, and the way she wiggles it looks like a little corkscrew. And then, of course, there's Jelly Bean, better known shirt. Okay, and this is like a half shirt for me, but hey, I could still fit Asian size, so evidently I ain't too big in the Philippines. So look at the kitties this morning. Scuba Steve is in the house. What is up, Scuba Steve? All right, guys. Today we're just gonna talk good, talk bad, talk about everything about what I've been experiencing in the Philippines as a all-seeing female expat that is picky and bougie. Speaking of bougie, hi bougie. Hi Pigsy. Hi Pigsy Seartail. Hi Pigsy Bear. And so basically we're going to talk about how it is loud, dirty, and friendly. Sounds like walking street. It sounded like my night last night with George. Why is this not moving? Let's see. Because of the cord. The cord is stuck. So, and that's what we're going to talk about. Loud, dirty, and friendly. It pretty much sums up the Philippines. Hell, some people say it sums up half the world right now, and I probably agree with it. Noise is one of my bigger problems here in some of the infrastructure, but I can get over infrastructure pretty easy. I'm not here to impress anybody. It's not like I'm going to bring over my in-laws or bring over like family and friends you're trying to impress with houses, which you can buy that here or rent it. But at exactly 5:12 this morning, somebody was with their motorcycle. They had their volume turned up on a radio, just cruising through the neighborhood. And I guess maybe they don't realize it or they don't care. I'm kind of at the point where I just don't think nobody is caring about it. So it can be extremely loud at all different hours. So that's what we'll be talking about. All right, look at Pigsy. See her? She's nursing. See her what they're doing to poofy pillows? But she thinks she's nursing. Yeah, stay off this shirt. She likes anything yellowish orange. See her? She likes that blanket. Must think it's her mommy. Look at me. Oh, Pigsy, she's so cute. So, let's see. We're missing our... I had to restart the computer this morning. There we go. I had to restart it. So, welcome to the show. It is Saturday. It is, I'm going to guess that the exchange today is somewhere around 57, 58 per $1 US. Last time cashed in a few days ago, so didn't check on it. And it's probably going to be hot today. So there's your weather report. But I'll be in the AC. I will not know that. So thank you very much. So it is Saturday. So we'll kind of do a wrap up of like what we've been talking about and everything, and stay on here for a few hours. Guys, comment. Be sure to like and subscribe if you're not. Did you guys notice the last time we got the photos? I ended up having these printed out. That's me and George in our robes. It was inside of one of those little doll boxes, and then has us in the Tokyo News. That's my other character. I forgot what we end up calling her, Jessica or something. But there's George in his disco get up and everything. So George has promised me to get some walkabouts and some like where he used to go in and talk with the Filipinos and everything in exchange for not being on the live streams as much. I said, well, you at least got to do that when you're out and about. And he said he would. So we'll be getting some of those soon. And I think the next time I'm going to push him in here at this point with the rate he's been busy is probably Halloween, which Halloween is on a Friday here, but it won't be for the US. So, being we do live streams Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, it'll probably be Thursday. So, here in a couple more days, or another, actually, I said a couple more days, it's another, 12 days. So, hopefully, we'll get him in here before then. So, he's here in spirit. His spirit was stinking last night. Don't feed George pizza. So, don't feed me pizza. Raymond Magadan Umaga, good morning. Mao-ining, ning, bing, ching, ching, ching. Second wind is in the house. Well, you can really see where my skin's broke out. I got the tablet here because I have skin cancer. You can actually, them aren't freckles. There's my other freckles, but this is breakout. But basically, it's somewhere between my lupus. That's why I do I do like a skincare where I use sunscreen when I'm outside, but over the years I didn't. So between my lupus and my autoimmune and the skin cancer, my skin is falling apart. Let's see. Hey, what's going on there? Scuba Steve saying he loves you. We love you too, Scuba Steve. I love Scuba Steve. Good morning, Slick Rick is in the house. Hey, hey, hey. It's lust, not love. It's this kitty cat. It's these double bullets. That's what it is. Say what you want, but they can't get enough of me. George ain't no fool. Love your shirt. I want one. George has got one too, but we are going to, like when he comes on, we're going to do the shirt thing right now. We have a rooster one coming that's got like this big cock on the front of it. Literally, he's big, and a tiger. And we got like different shirts that we're going to start wearing. But I figured if he's not here, I'm going to start wearing them. And then you'll just see us rotate the shirts and stuff. So, in other words, instead of me wearing certain outfits, I think I'm going to start wearing the shirts that we're going to wear. Remember, I was telling you that I've had multiple careers, and I was talking about that the other day. So I told you, let you guys in that I used to work at a long time ago when I was super young. I did like the booths for people. Used to watch their booths for a couple weeks at the carnival. I've worked at McDonald's. One time I worked for Arby's, and this was all under the age of 18. I worked at a movie theater for almost 2 years. George did too. We had a lot of that in common. I have been everything. I worked at a television studio, knew a bunch of celebrities, got to know them there, did tech support, worked at HSN, the on air sales forever. And I ended up doing, geez, what else have I done as a career? Just about everything. I was even I worked with a master chef and was a master chef with him. Not claiming I went to school. I'm just saying what I mastered. I mastered. Some people like to get all that upside down. They're like, "Oh, you never went to school for that, so you can't call yourself a master chef." Okay, well, bite me on that one. But I was, and I even worked at Red Lobster at one point. So, making biscuits and prepping food in Tampa, Florida. I've had just about every career that there was, but my biggest one was the television studio and working as a neurological nurse. I worked at a neurological center for many years, and then I did one on one care. But geez, this was back in the 90s and stuff. So it's been a while, and officially been retired 2006, 2007. I have to calculate how long I've been disabled. So I'm here on Social Security for those that are learning about me. Because, like George reminds me, a lot of people don't know my story. I've talked about my careers in the beginning, and how I'm just an everyday somebody, never claimed to be anything fancy. I don't have a couple, like, I don't have 4,000. I have around 2,000 that's coming in for Social Security. So that's what I do. Is now I just communicate with people through live streams and tell people my story and answer questions, and it actually breaks up the day, and I enjoy spending time with people. And then I'm going to talk about living here. And there's been a lot of ups and downs. The biggest things that get to me is the weather. Now officially the earthquakes, them are just getting way, way, way up there. A lot of them, I get George's passive about them. He's just used to them, like a lot of Filipinos, but I think there's been way too many of them here lately. And we have felt the last couple ones. The one that was just yesterday, we did not, but there was one that came really close to us, which is in the Angeles, San Fernando, and Mabalacat area. We were actually able to fill this, but nothing's affected the area. So he's here. You're asking about. There he is. He there. There he is. The dog and the cat. Oh, look at Pigsy all stretched out. She fell asleep after nursing over there like George last night. Aw, so peaceful. But anyways, now the dog and the cats pull it down and been chewing on them. And then, of course, we've got our Pop Tart there. So, got a question. How can I use my English as an American to get a job in another country that is not teaching? I really wouldn't know that, and I wouldn't even recommend relying on that fully unless you have a really good job before you leave your country. And you're saying you're American, because there's a lot of them. 5 years ago, when I entered this country, just about, I would have said that you can make some money out of it. But now everybody's leaving the US and Canada and all these other places, and the online is just not paying the bills, because a lot of them, of course, you got to set up appointments, like you have to get the incoming work. But unless you've been in the game for a while, I don't know. Look into stuff for AI. AI is the biggest thing. So, working in another country, I would start looking at all these AI jobs. I have some links. Thomas, if you want to contact me, I do have some that show a bunch of training and different things where all these companies are hiring, in as in data entry and some of the other things where they're like moderating the AI. And the jobs are out there, but what companies you get them from would be something different. And make sure you're following the law here. I don't care what anybody says, that unless you have the appropriate visas and you're coming in here long term, hence that's what what is that visa there, the nomad digital visa. You're supposed to, if you're pulling in a check, just for all that legal advice, contact the appropriate people, because people don't want to listen to us. They say we're lying about everything, but check into it. You want to check into all of that, because officially on a computer, if you're sitting there all day working and you're still living long term in the Philippines, you need the appropriate visas, paying taxes, and everything. And a lot of people are like, oh, you just pay it back in the US and it's not a big deal. It's the way it is. But that's not the Philippine law. So every country will be different. So check into all of that. Everybody will be different. My damn neighbors were karaokeing at 2:30 this morning. Yeah. I forgot who it was. Somebody, we get videos. George watches the videos, and then sometimes we have discussions. Just recently, somebody showed, I think I remember who it is now. I'm not going to call them out, but they don't have, like, their family's not super loud. The events aren't super loud. You do get where Filipinos tend to be quiet on the situation. But in my experience, usually they're really outgoing, they're really loud and karaokeing, screaming across the way and everything, that everybody's just having fun. It's like being at summer camp, all wrapped in one with bad infrastructure and really hot weather. And it's everybody. I wonder sometimes who's adulting, and this would have been fine for me if I was under the age of 21. This would have been one hell of a fucking place to be at. With me being older, it's like, what is that? Who's that? Why is everybody being so loud? Everything. I have several medical conditions, and autosensory issues is one of them. Okay, we got self-diagnosing, not self-diagnosing. We have diagnosing YouTubers out there that discuss my medical conditions, and they're like, oh, well, here she is throwing in another one. Okay, you don't know what's wrong with me and why I collect disability and shit. But I do have forms of neurological issues, and one of them would include this, okay? And everything seems loud, even in the smells. Like George says, not only can I diagnose like food and what's in the food, I can smell the cigarettes. If somebody's smoking way up the street, I can smell that. And I can smell the fumes up on MacArthur Highway, even though it's 2, 3 blocks up and over, I can still do it. But it's it's so loud sometimes. But that's how I describe the Philippines. And people think we're joking and shit. A lot of them watch all these other vloggers and they put this spin on the Philippines because it's what sells their channels, and they're selling the dream. And I don't sell the dream of dating. I don't sell the dream of, hey, it's just that cheap. I just tell it the way it is. I just tell it how I'm doing day to day and over a 5-year period. So that's how I would describe the Philippines. Is it just seems like nobody's adulting. A state fair and I almost said state camp, a state fair and summer camp wrapped into one with bad infrastructure and bad weather. And you never know what you're going to get, like a box of chocolates. So they're just passive. Until I got to the Philippines and got to watching people and people watching and being here for a long period of time, the neighbors, the people in the neighborhood, the biggest thing I notice, it seems like nobody's adulting, and not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody. I'm not describing everybody. That way some people don't get so fucking butthurt. It's most. And a lot of people mistake the passiveness as they're just so nice, but then they wonder why their ass gets dumped out on the street and become homeless and shit. It's like you have to take everything with a grain of salt. What I'm saying, what you learn when you get here, you just have to take everything and put it all into a ball and just wait and see what happens. But they don't care. I think they care. I think they just don't care on not caring. It's called passive aggressiveness. It's something that I have read over and over again that's in the Asian culture. It's all dealing with what they would say about Americans and stuff. It's just something that there's books on it. I'm not the only one that sees this. And then I thought it was just me because I lived with George for many years in the US before we came here. And then when we got here, I was like, wait a minute. Remember we talked about stoicism? This will probably piss him off when he watches it later because he gets butthurt too. The stoicism thing, for him, he likes to think it's stoicism. It's just that George can go days without talking to me situation. And if your man or woman stopped talking to you for days, that would piss you off too. It's not because George, stay strong, stand up against her. No, it's for the simplest things. We went through a whole thing talking about passiveness, the stoicism, and then what's the one where the tampo, where the girls go off in the bedroom. And yes, males can have the tampo too. And it's like a mix. It's like a, I now realize how Filipino George is. So it's just, I don't know. No rules in the Philippines. It seems like that, in my opinion. It does seem like that. It's a pick and choose who pays fines for not having helmets on e-trikes. You'll see a whole family without the helmets. You'll see just bad traffic. People run lights, and it is to me a pick and choose. But the Philippines isn't the only place that does that. So it is a weird. I feel it's about as weird as what's enforced it here as the amount of money you can make here versus the cost and the pull of the rich and poor, and it's like a really weird imbalance, and that's part of living here. But you will find the hospitality, but I'm going to be more truthful on that. Watch who's offering the hospitality, because sometimes there's not always good people here, and the hospitality they're offering you is just what they call that, a wolf's in sheep's clothing or something. Basically, they're just being nice to get to your money. Some are nice enough for a few years to get married to you, and then you find out, whammo, she's a psycho, that type of shit. So I'm just saying it, a lot of people think when they leave their countries and they get here that there's going to be some big change. Hence again, why people can't stand me, because I'm just putting it out there and it doesn't meet their objectives. So then the dumbasses are like, oh, she's fat and she's criminal and she's this and she's an idiot and all that. And I'm like, fuck you. You wouldn't say that shit in my face, bitch. And so they want to talk shit on the side to build themselves up when I'm like, are you kidding me right now? That came from that person. It's like, toodaloo, motherfucker. So it's like, whatever. So, yes, I did. Yeah, George is here in spirit. hmm And for those that are just coming in, like I said, George said again, I've been waiting for him to do the walkabouts and videos. He's been busy and sleeping in different hours, and he's been spending time taking care of his uncle, more with his granddaughter, and just a lot more things, especially since his dad and grandmother passed away in the last, has it been 30 days yet? Either way, he's changed. He already admitted to some depression. It really did set him back. And so if he stays up, I don't even try. I used to wake him up with a fight almost every time. I like, hey, and it's not that he doesn't like you guys. Let me rephrase that. It's not because of that. He's just, he sometimes he doesn't even go to bed till 4 o'clock, and then it's like, a couple hours later it's a live stream, and then he'll just stay up, and then he crashes. Literally, I can't even count, well, probably not anymore, how many times he's actually fell asleep just sitting up on the couch right after the live streams. He used to fall asleep everywhere when he used to work 16-hour days. It's just that he just can't stay up like that anymore. So we will get some videos out of him, try to get him in on some major holidays and try to pull him into the live streams, or like the last time, he just randomly popped up. Yes, I did. I turned him into a cat, Scott. Big shout out to you guys. Scuba Steve said, correction, the only rule is to be happy. Cheers and keep it real. Yeah, but sometimes you can't fucking be happy all the time. I mean, I like have my limit, because I guess it's the level of pain I'm in sometimes, and in real reality. And I'm not going to sit there and smile, or because another channel says you're supposed to be happy, or uh, always got to keep it positive and I only watch. Like, I seen this channel yesterday where the guy had bought a house here in the Philippines, seemed to be maybe in his early 50s, and the other guy, it's fairly new channels, a couple thousand, I think literally 2,000 subscribers on each channel, and they're like, I love watching this channel, and they were both talking to each other in the live stream, and everybody's a live stream aficionado now. And they were like, I only watch your channel because you're absolutely positive and everything's got to be positive. I don't want to fucking come here and find out all this shit on my own. I'm not going to learn it all on YouTube either because I didn't, because everything I seen was feeding the dream. And George wasn't going to tell me shit. He's passive. He didn't, he claims he told me about the bad weather and he told me yeah, no. You just allowed me to experience it on my own. I guess it wasn't for him to go through all of it, but I didn't know it was that damn hot. I lived in Florida and that was hot. And this is hot. So it's like it was a whole different. Now, that's not everywhere. You can, like people say, go to Baguio and some other places. It'll be a little cooler. I seen someone, I think, in Bacoor or something that said they run a fan in the daytime and AC at night, but it's fairly cool. I don't know. I mean, I'm in menopause, so we're here. Most people coming is near the retirement age, and of course, you got the younger generation. But all in all, it's still goddamn hot. And George was not like, hey, you're not going to make it situation hot. And I've adjusted. Your body will eventually adjust and everything. But as far as the happiness all the time, I'm sorry, I am not going to force that shit. I mean, it's it is what it is. On the wherever I am, I'm going to be just like I was in Mexico and Florida and New York and when I was in Los Angeles. It just, I am where I am, and how I'm feeling is how I'm feeling. So, hey Joe, what's going on? Good morning from Air Resistance and Makati. Yeah, we've been to Makati. Yeah, I like Makati. Um, we were supposed to go to a YouTube event recently, and we didn't. So one, it was a matter of hiring in the driver, which last time we paid close to $100 for him, and I'm like, yeah, it was based on live streams, and it's what we do, and I just didn't think it was worth going to the Google headquarters. Um, so my dad had skin cancer really bad also. My mom died of cancer at 50. I have lupus, which is one of my biggest issues that attack my organs and cause my skin. I'm on steroids constantly. And my dad's skin cancer, they put cream. And you could see here, I had some cut out since I was here, but it looks like they said it was good, but I still see something going on. But my dad ended up having a bunch of it lasered off and then put a bunch of cream that was eating it away for a while. And I realize now that that's what I probably need. The darker spots are all cancer. So it's, yeah, so it's just getting, and besides the lupus, breaking up my skin all the time, it's just probably a mix of the steroids. But I mean, some treatments and some things are practical here to be self-pay on, and I'm self-pay on medication. If I needed something more serious that would go into severe bucks, then I would go back to the US really if I need to, but I'm hoping not to because I'm not sure how that trip would go. So, hey Peter, what is going on? Peter. I lost a large spot on my nose due to skin cancer. Yeah, man, that surgery sucked. Um, I know Monty Crew, for those that are, that know some of the Doomageddon group. Monty Crew was the one that kind of led Paul into doing his channel. And poor guy is just going through the ringer. I mean, he's got a young daughter. He's got adult children in the U.S. But yeah, I mean, it's Monty Crew family. Be sure to check out his channel. I don't think he does a bunch of content. I check in every now and then. I see him all the time. We're friends on Facebook. But poor guy had a bunch of stuff cut out and been through the ringer. And that's one thing, is that coming here to the Philippines, your medical will actually follow. And a lot of people are underinsured, definitely not any money to cover it. And then they rely to go back to the US, or like Monty right now, he's got a GoFundMe and he's trying to get help and everything. Oh, snap. Shame on you, Scott. Shame on you. I have some candy corn for someone on my trip. Is it my kitty cat? it for my kitty cat. When is that, Scott? Forget about getting anything out of George. He's just like over the rainbow. I can almost hear the Wizard of Oz. Somewhere over the rainbow, where is George? He sleeps or he's out and about ignoring Heidi in the land of Oz. So, I know it's getting pretty close. Hey, Dorothy, what is going on? Halloween is on Friday. Yeah, so I think what we'll do is Thursday's the 30th. And usually I'll arrange something where we try to dress up or something. But this year, I think I'm going to make George do his own thing. Listen and everything with him, like Casper the Ghost. And I think they even had a Flintstone one. Yeah, them real thin plastic masks that we used to wear. But anyways, there's a few ideals that I have. But I'm gonna make sure he dresses up. He's got like I have to see if he can find his Captain America outfit that he used to wear. You guys have seen him in that video and everything. But yeah, we're definitely there are more earthquakes than normal. Yeah, and it's the way George, like, he seemed so cantankerous with me on the last live stream, and it was like, boy, the last one he appeared, and it was like he was like, that's normal, we're used to it. And George has always been like that. It's always pissed me off, just like I piss people off about shit. But George was just being super super passive that day, and he's like, well, no big deal. If you ask another Filipino, it's no, bitch, it's been getting worse. It's like, but I've been here 5 years, George, and it's one after the other, and it's causing damage. This is not the norm. And then he went through what he went through back in the 90s. I said, yeah, but that was back then. This is now. There's a new epidemic thing going on, and there's been a bunch more, and I just think there's going to be a bunch more, and we have a bad storm coming through right now. So you're right on that, Raymond. Yeah. We got a Christmas thing yesterday, like these Christmas shirts too. It's got like a Christmas tree. I'm checking the news. There's a new storm coming in. Headlines. Yeah, they're saying it was magnitude 6 in Surigao del Norte. I believe that's the location of Philly in the Philippines. So I hope him and the family are okay. And I want to apologize to anybody that we could not see recently. There's been at least a dozen people that have contacted us, and they were like, they were not seen by other people. I don't know what it is, but we had a clearing through our manager, went through some stuff. We did everything on the restream. We double checked those people. Of course, they wouldn't have been blocked. And so, especially like our regulars were like, yeah, okay, we just decided randomly to start blocking people. But there was a bunch of that going on. We told people to go in and uninstall or like unsubscribe and resubscribe and try different devices. But I think it's all been uh, corrected on that and everything. I mentioned on the side note because I was thinking about our Philippine journey that lives nearby, fairly close. I don't see, they're not listing the storm, but there's a storm. They just, let me see, I sent that to somebody yesterday. But they're saying today. Ramil is the name of it. It's high risk. Zambales, Nuevas ECJ or SJ, Camarines Sur, Mountain Province, La Union, Pangasinan, Pampanga, which is our area, but it doesn't show specifically in the Angel City. I'm sure we'll get the effects. Tarlac, which is right next door, like literally, we're almost Tarlac. So Cavite, it's got a list: Bulacan, Albay, Quezon, Samar, and it just goes down the list and stuff. But there's another storm coming in. Hey, Richie, I was just thinking about you the other day. What is up, Richie? Good morning. The second one's like, I don't adult either. Concept of face, if you're talking about saving face, or yeah, you're going to get, when I start thinking about the things I say about Filipinos, it's because I live here now in the Philippines. I always tell people I'd be saying the same shit if I was in Mexico about the Mexican people, or Americans if I was in America, what was going on and around and everything. It's just where I am. You're either butt hurt or you're not about it situation. And I think so. I think people would give out misinformation just to. There's like a whole thing on saving face and who does this and who does that. There is a mix of people here. There really is. For the most part, you got good people that really want to be helpful, but I do get concerned on the ones that want to mislead you when they're trying to get something out of you, or it's it is what it is. My sleep schedule is off the chart. Yeah, no clue. You probably never be able to make it up. It seems the more years that go by, it seems like we're really messed up. I have to sleep accordingly because we both can't do what George does. It's there's like, we have packages delivered here. The cats and animals get fed twice a day. We still have to eat. Things have to be done. The house doesn't run on its own. The laundry, the dishes, so I can't. I've tried probably like 2 3 times a month I'll end up with a nap, so where I have to sleep. It's just because of medicine and not feeling good and stuff, but um which is okay. I mean, George does what George is going to do. A lot of people think George all pussy control and George is controlled. No, George is stubborn as a motherfucker. He's stubborn. He does what he wants when he wants, and the more you say something to him, the opposite way he'll go. So, been begging for videos. It looks like we might get some, so I'm really excited. So it's just the way it is. So my welcome to the Philippines moment was realizing they don't follow traffic rules, right? Or stay in their own lane. I had deer in the headlight look when I crossed the streets in Bacoor. Yeah, use it now. Um, the crazy thing is did you guys see that convoy? We posted it on Facebook where they were taking supplies to the earthquake people, and their own convoy nipped the back of the truck and a bunch of them died. It was like four of them, and they're just hanging off the back of a truck. We're not talking about secured down in the truck, on the edge of the truck, like the edge of the back of the truck. And a bunch of them died. And it's like, I clearly watched. There was no tiredness. It wasn't the way he took the corner. He just rammed him. And I was like, what was that? He nipped him and then the truck's overturned. And I was like, I don't know. I wonder sometimes on the driving situation, but you do get a bunch of unlicensed people that are um, a lot of unlicensed. This is a country where they do buy their license. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Not everybody, but there's a portion of them, and that just aren't licensed at all. And it's scary. It happens with the buses, the tour buses. There's a lot of accidents here. And, I'm not going to sit here and compare like where people say, oh, well, there's a million of them in the US every year, blah, 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 blah. No, if I'm saying I'm here and I'm seeing a lot of accidents and there's a lot of crazy drivers, I'm not saying it for the hell of it. It really is crazy. And crossing the streets here is even crazier. There are two places in the world so far I wouldn't have drove. One is here and one was in Mexico. I did drive, but only short distances in Mexico. But rarely, because it was crazy driving in Mexico too. And so all the other places I've been to, I was willing to drive. Here, it just seems insane. really bad. My hair is naturally curly, and um, you can look at my early on videos where I've just changed in 5 years. I don't know if just the lupus is getting worse, but since I've entered Asia, the hair thing has been out of control. I haven't had hardly one good day. I just recently bought like a hair mask, and that's what I put in my hair last night, and it went partially curly, and but it still feels crispy and dry. The We have a water filter in the shower. It's not helping. So, good and bad days, the humidity just makes it worse. Hey, good morning, Luca. Luca, ¿cómo está? If you knew what you knew now, would you have moved to the Philippines? Good question. He put me between a rock and a hard place. I don't regret it. Okay. And I told you guys that beings we have sold everything, it made a difference on a return because we had so much more when we left. We blew through a lot of money, self pay medical and everything. Um, that is almost really unanswerable. So that'll tell you I hesitate. The reason being is if we stayed, that means George would still be working 16 hours and long hours. But now he sleeps part of the day. He's with his family. So my dream did not come what I thought it would. In other words, I didn't know it would be this hot. I didn't know when I say things are so manual, seems like everything takes forever to get processed and done. And I'm doing more work now than I did in the United States. Like I just had a small apartment. It was really easy to keep clean. I didn't have these animals. There were so many sick animals and animals to adopt. We took on a bunch of animals. So now I'm taking care of animals. They keep me company and everything when George isn't here, but there's a lot of regret. And but I guess being he doesn't have to work officially and that he's back with his family, I find that to be a good balance to what I have to deal with. I don't know. Like I said, nobody's sucking my duck. I'm not, there's nobody cleaning my house. These guys get a lot of benefits for coming here. Mine is spending time with my husband. So, uh, and I miss my family terribly. I miss my daughter, my son, grandkid. I mean, I miss the family. So I regret that a bunch. So I have my good days and bad days. So I don't know. I think you guys are kind of getting the picture. Would I have moved? These earthquakes also have me a little concerned. If I'd have realized how bad the weather was going to be and the earthquakes are getting worse and now they're saying there's a big one coming, I wish me and George would have talked more about it, then we might have decided to stay. But it financially it has allowed George not to work. That's the biggest thing that I can say. So I'm half in and half out. Right now, the biggest reason I'm here is because of my husband. And a lot of people are like, well, your ass moved to the Philippines and you did this, but you bitch about it. It's because my husband lives here. I'll bitch all I fucking want situation. I didn't come here, like I said, for the dating and the ladies on Walking Street or owning and running a bar. And I came here because my husband is Filipino and the pandemic was looking pretty shitty at the time. We moved right in the height of the pandemic, and that's what brought me here. So some days, I'd probably say about half the month I'm bitching. So it just like, I was like, ah, so, but I mean, I wouldn't be fully promoting tourism and doing a Filipina P. Well, the P herself, okay, does do the good and the bad about it, but to me, she's still semi promoting. And some of these other channels are really starting to promote the Philippines, like Kulos does, about coming and living here. I think there are things that each person needs to learn before they come here because in the beginning, I'm going to tell you for the first 2-3 years, I'd have left. So I was so close to leaving. But then it was hearing the voice about my family. Oh, I knew you wouldn't last. And hearing the situation of, oh, you couldn't make it, and then losing everything, selling everything, and going through what it took to get here. I was being stubborn. So I was going through this push and pull thing. So honestly, it's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough. And as a female expat, it became even harder. So you had the toxic poison vloggers. You had the other expats that were absolutely just not. I mean, I couldn't get anybody to even look and say hi to me in the beginning. I would go through the mall during the pandemic and I would say hi, and they would just keep walking. And it's like they didn't even know who I was. So and there was no camera out or no nothing. So they seem to be more friendly now than they used to be. But during that time, they were like real hush hush. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. It's not for everybody. Yeah, how was your trip to Hong? Was it Hong Kong Disney there? Okay, so it'll be Christmas Eve. All right, sweet. Definitely will have to come up again, most definitely. So, candy corn. Oh, look at the cat still asleep. So, what else can we say? They opened up a Walter Mart. It's here in Mabalacat. It's on the outskirts of Angel City. I'm not sure where else the nearest Walter Mart. I don't think there's one in this area, but they opened it up and it was crazy. It was crazy. And this is at 10 in the morning. There were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I'd like to ask where their jobs were, but it's, a lot of people work at home or people don't have jobs because it's the Philippines. But the place was packed, man. But they had a lot of bargains and deals and BOGOs and freebies they were giving away. And me and George thought it was open the other day when we were on the e-trike, and it did mention different dates. But they did officially open. I just couldn't believe. I was watching videos of it on Facebook. It was just insane. Let's see. Okay, where was that? Interesting. See that? It says here the travel blogger was RPED'd by 7 men while on vacation right in front of her husband. What country did that happen in? Just seen another story that actually happened. No, guys, traveling's not for everyone. Vlogging has made every country seem like a superstar situation or a vlogging point and moment. And people don't realize the danger. And I'm telling you, it's here. It's actually here, but it's amazing how people cover everything up. And when I say in my area, there's been no crime, nobody's taken my stuff, nobody's come in my yard, it could happen in 3 days. The same with Mexico. Nothing ever happened when we lived in the mountains of Mexico with the cartel and everything, but it doesn't mean that it couldn't have happened. You always got to take precaution. Okay, so where is that's why I carry where is the it's weird because the story is not usually inside here. It gives the actual story, but there is no story. I guess I'm not going to be able to tell you the rest of that story, but point is just be safe what you're actually doing when you actually go to any Southeast Asian country. We were talking about the crime and everything else. What would you do if your Social Security is not enough due to inflation? The U.S. government can't pay you anymore. Well, there'll be a lot more to worry about if that happens. I would get an online job. I have the right and the ability to work here in the Philippines with my 13A. So I would go into doing something AI. That's exactly what I would do. I have enough savings to definitely get by for a short period of time. But if the US government stops paying outright Social Security, I could see the free one they give out, the SSI, which is not what I get. I'm not getting the welfare one. And they are giving people since the day they were born Social Security. So if they go cutting us off, the ones that have paid into it, that would be something totally different. But I don't think that's going to happen. But they did just in the United States, they did stop the food stamps and Medicaid, I think, until the government reopens. They say it's something to do with King's Day, and there's a bunch of shit going on. But people can say all they want. I think the people that are abusing the system need to be cut off. I really do. I highly believe in that. But the disabled, the elderly, and think about the kids that are going to go hungry. And so officially, they're saying everybody's cards got cut off. And that's not from one source, that's from multi sources. They go cutting off Social Security, like George said, that belonged to people who paid into it. Yeah, there's going to be a total beyond riot on that. So I just can't see that because that is from a different fund. The monies have been set aside. I don't see how they could just boom stop that when it's a whole separate fund. So, and they've already paid out since then. The government shut down when I got my last check. So, all right, guys, 1 second here. 1 second delivery. And yes, you don't get to see my shirt. Talk amongst yourselves. This guy. Hey. Oh, okay. All right, guys. There you go. Pickup and delivery. Let's see. You guys still hear me? Coot, coot, coot. Now that's a concern, the de-dollarization, because I know somewhere I'm not like a money like aficionado or whatever. They're talking about the dollar is going to drop out. A lot of countries are trying to go to, um, they're trying to get where the dollar, they're not based on the dollar or something. They said when something happens in China and some other places, dollar drops out, we're screwed. I'll get a job. I put George on Walking Street. I'm gonna sell these cats. I'm gonna tell you something. But I've always made it. That's why George has chose me because that's just me. I'm a hustler. I'm just not going to lay down and say, oh, that's the end of it, and then go begging on the street and sit there and just do full begging or a half strip tease on live streams and stuff and do dishes and ask for tips and be like, oh, here I am. And I just can't see it. I'll get an online job if I have to, or he has to. That's what he'll go get a job. I'm going to get my hustle, even if I'm up on the street making. If you see me selling bananas, that's what I'm going to do. Not going to be happy about it, but it's just where it is situation. So, uh, it was really great overall. Oh, you're talking about your trip. It's good that you had a good trip there. I had a visitor last night. This spider was 4 inches in diameter. Oh man, when I first got here, there was huge ones underneath the counter at our Airbnb. They didn't clean under there. Like most of the place was unclean, in my opinion. And there was giant ones, but like George said, I think they're like them wolf spiders where they didn't bite. Yeah, U.S. has 2.7 million in reserves for Social Security. So yeah, I can't see that they're going to mess with that, but I can't believe what's going on at all. Some of the stuff going on in the U.S. right now is, I really believe no matter what is being said based on the No King's Day, they're going to use that to do the insurrection, or not the Insurrection Act, which, if there's going to be millions of them out there protesting, I really believe something will happen and he'll enforce that at that point. No, Social Security has never been enough. No, definitely not. Hey, Marsh, good morning. No, I did not. Did not. Good morning. Good morning, Sarah. Hi, hi. I look at Pigsy, Sarah. Hi, Piggy. Hi, Piggy Bear. Hi. She lives so comfortable. George said he had seen her in the neighborhood as a kitten, like she was going around. Her dad, we see him all the time outside. He's got the same tail, same color, and everything. But she was by the trash can, and she jumped up on the trash can, and she had her own medical issues when we first got her, and we've had her in ever since. Although I'm starting to wonder if this was somebody's cat. But she was a tiny kitten. She was dirty. She had grease on her too. So see her moving that tail. Aw, she's a good girl. And Sarah saying hi to the room. Yes, of course. They're saying it'll be depleted and everything. And I have no idea what they're selling. You'd think I would know after a couple years. I keep telling my daughter she needs to get her ass saving and investing. Yeah. Hey, Pigsy, don't bite him. Poor Geo. Be nice to Geo Bear. It's funny. She bullies two other cats, and then she gets bullied by the other cat. That flu from the cats has gone all the way around circle. Megan is sick. She's about ready to get over it. Pigsy was sick about a week and a half ago. He was originally sick. I think he started it, but now Tweety is sick. And one of her eyes, it seems to be in their eyes. So now I'm putting eye drops in her eyes. They all got something going in the eyes. Respiratory, it's just something overall respiratory hitting everything. And one at a time, they've not all at the same time. Individually, they're sick. So I think Bella was sick last week. She's healed. I'm giving them electrolytes, vitamins in their water and everything. But we just have Gucci's already been sick. So I don't think they get it back because none of them's gotten it back. But yes, sorry, back to that. I was distracted there. Yes. I was talking to George about investing some of the money in crypto, but we're a firm believer that if we don't have it to lose, then, or super, super long term, like not being able to mess with it, we're not going to mess with it. We're not right now, anyways. And we just don't have it to lose. So You better be good, Pigsy. You better be good, Pigsy Bear. Yes, 20 minutes, but then again, Social Security is at risk. Congress critters treat it like money and not the people's money. Yeah, there's so much going on with that. I feel sorry for the people, no matter what. I'm tired of the labeling. I don't like full labeling, the name calling, the whole thing that's going on right now. Uh, hey, you too. Cool it. Ow, not my back. There, see this? What's going on, guys? Pigsy, don't start. Cat fight. So there's a lot going on. Really is. Everybody's going through their hellos. Hey, good morning, Mark. Sure, they can stop Social Security. It's projected to run out between 2023 and 2035. It could easily be cut, if not completely cut. Well, anything's possible the way the government's running. They're running it like their own piggy bank. And what do you guys think about that monument thing being built for that ark being built for Trump? Go ahead and figure on that one. And the propaganda. They were just talking about the propaganda, and he is doing propaganda, but I'm not going to get into politics today. I just can't believe the amount of money. When you guys are talking about Social Security, I think about all the money that's being wasted everywhere else. 100% being wasted everywhere else. They are putting posters up of Trump everywhere and praising him for what he's done, and that's also against the rules. And I'm starting to fall like there's a lot of crap going on. So, sure, go ahead and cut the Social Security. Go ahead. I'll get a job. That'll be the end of it, I guess. Have no choice. I mean, we don't have savings to last the rest of our life, and neither does the 35,000 people here. So the ones that are on Social Security here will also have to figure what to do. It's just not going to be me. But that arc is ridiculous. And they're still not saying it's his money paying for that ballroom. So it's just vulgar. It's beyond vulgar. Yeah, there's a lot of people on it. It wasn't meant to be your entire living. I get it, but there are a lot of people that are. The world is a global economy. Anything affects, yeah, anyone. Yes. Yeah, it's happening because the American government has become a nasty bully. Yeah, and no one likes the bully fool. Yeah, that is true. Hey, Harry, what is going on? I can't even keep up anymore, nor do I want to keep up with the daily stuff that goes on. It's just gotten way out there. Way out there. Hey, what's going on, Harry? Oh, did he? Ace Frehley did die from Kiss. Yeah, I remember in the late 70s, I believe it was a double platinum album my sister got for her birthday. And we used to listen to that on a record player over and over again all night long. It was just good times, good memories. Hey, Laura, what is going on? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I knew he was sick, but I didn't know that he officially passed away. Correct. Correct. It was passed, but not invoked. He's been throwing that around about doing it. But yet, when the Capitol was stormed, he didn't use it, and he didn't use it when it was appropriate. Now he wants to use it. I'm sure. Democrats are upset they didn't get their way. Has nothing to do about being against authority. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Laura, my neighbor in the Bay Area. Crypto relies on secure power grid and easy access to the internet and computer. Yeah. By the way, you should look up the Whiskey Rebellion. He led the American troops. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, wrestling match. Second one is not able. I agree. I told George I would stay off of that because really it's it's something totally out there right now. There's so much going on individually. So, but it is some of the crazier times. Again, this isn't 20 years ago or 30 years ago in politics. It's unfolding in real time. So, Social Security won't be cut. It could be reduced. Yeah, Congress, yeah, to wait till the last minute. Yeah. So, there's a green comet that's going to pass, huh? Well, that's the whole point of it. This whole thing was not based on that. Let's focus on relevant expat. And honestly, I'm not here to even fucking do that either. Honestly, we have done expat help. I talk about me living here, and basically, I'm just being narcissistic. I want it to be about me situation on my live stream. No, just kidding. But in general, I mean, honestly, most of the time people really aren't discussing that. Anytime we've chose a topic for a live stream, people go way off the topic anyways. So basically, we run a live stream 3 times a week and have done it for close to easily since we've been here 5 years. We've been doing live streams, probably one of the longer running ones besides just a few channels. Like I know originally Sunshine was doing them. I know that Overstay Road was doing live streams, and I'm not even aware he was even doing them. I think he was definitely doing videos, but I don't know how he was doing live streams in the beginning. Continuous and constant has only been a few vloggers, and now it's everybody's doing live streams. So, but we're just going to do them no matter what. I mean, whether it's talking about whatever subject. I just don't want to get into politics because although I do, it's a lot of butthurt people. A lot of people is in different directions on it, and it's just a bad deal. It just all the way. Honestly, I want to, but George said no. So that's honestly I do. Really, I would love to give my full opinion. Really, really would love, and I don't care who would fall out because it's evident with your eyes what's going on. Gold, yeah, 4,000 an ounce. As you might see, a depression recession along with the line. Yeah, isn't that crazy? 4,000. Most definitely. Well, I still have part of it left over. As much as I wanted donuts and I was really wanting to order them, I ended up having, like I do usually, it's either like scrambled eggs as a protein or I have the oats. So I put some pumpkin in there, a little bit of peanut butter, cinnamon and nutmeg, pumpkin seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds. So it's a high protein omega breakfast. So oats, about a half a cup of oats in there, and then it's cooked. Oh, and some raisins, a handful of raisins. So it just got like all the energy in it. So that's most of my mornings. So I decided to do once a week something that we're going to order out, and that's what we've been sticking to. And then for lunch, I made chicken yesterday, so I'll take some of the chicken and I'll do a salad because we had salad with the chicken yesterday. Overall, had everything in the salad: a little bit of mozzarella, a lemon honey mustard dressing that I make from scratch. Most everything in this house is made from scratch. I think the most recent and the more longer one was the last one that was done by Trump, I think. But I think this one will go on for a while. We shall see. Good morning. FICA cap needs to be eliminated. 176,000 earnings. There is no FICA. Yeah, I don't get that one either. One second. Can we talk about the variety of Oreo cookies now, right? They just had a new one here in the Philippines because it comes up in the Lazada feed and it comes up in the Facebook feed. And then I bitch at George. I'm like, listen, I said, it's not me that's been looking at Oreo cookies. You've been looking at Oreo cookies on Lazada. And then weirdly, joking around, it's just a joke because I know it's not true. There's been other items coming up, certain clothing and all that. And I'm like, yeah, I don't fit a size 4 in this dress they keep showing. I said, you trying to order a dress there, George? And so it's like a bunch of clothes have been coming up here lately, but it's like, I forgot. I think it's not a BTS cookie. It's something else that came up. You guys coming down to Walking Street. We did a few years back. I doubt it, but I don't know. They never know because George will not usually make full plans with me on stuff. And then it depends. I could wake up and have zero energy to walk to the back of the house. So it just depends on, yeah. Hey, what's going on? I love talking about politics. Well, all I know is that's a sinking ship right now. You guys can say it's the best thing on earth that's going on in America, but I've never heard such rhetoric and such craziness in my whole life as I have. But understand that in the past, there's been both Democrat and Republican parties. There's been a lot of nasty stuff. So it's just not one. It's just politics. But it's for me. It's always been about the people that are suffering. So that's the fallout is the working people. But yet all the tax money is going everywhere else. I just can't believe it. Oh, you was talking about blueberry pie. I did. That's a weird one. I did not know there was a blueberry pie on an Oreo cookie. My uncle wants to renew his U.S. passport a year before it expires. Is that too early? He's not traveling anymore. I think you can start 6 months before, but I could be wrong. That's all I know is 6 months before. And is he currently in the US or is he in the Philippines? Because there are different services here that makes it easier. So I think you have to wait 6 months before. Anybody else know? I'm not going to pretend I know on that one without looking that one up. Mine had the full 10 years when I actually entered here because they didn't backtrack it. I had had a passport for years and years. And then because I ended up getting married, I believe I'll have to check, but it was set out for the longest period of time. I believe it's 10 years. I want to show others what I think and think freedom of speech. Gotcha. Try that one more time. Also, nice glue other things politics because we need that dialogue. Social Security does not go broke. Yeah, 2035 down 80%. Yeah, we're aware that it can. I don't know why they're not investing, but there's not a lot of people putting into it also. So, yeah, it was just a given. November is bad time of the year to apply for passport because a holiday get renewed. Yeah, it's just a good idea. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's 6 months, and then I don't know what the delay is. And I definitely with the government shutdown, which I'm still trying to figure that out. How come some things are working and others? How come certain people are getting paid? Okay, and others aren't getting paid, and I don't get it. And then the other things that are going on. I mean, didn't he just have some big dinner with a bunch of people commemorating a bunch of stuff? Isn't all that stuff supposed to be on hold? I don't know. It's really strange for me. Sure, why not? What the hell? I ain't got nothing better to do. I have heard of them only because it means one of you guys have watched them, so then it comes up in the feed. I blocked most of them. Reason being is they're a repeat, and if there's not a lesson to learn, like in other words, if there's nothing tied to really being, if they're just being creepy or something, we don't cover them. What's the problem with them? What's going on with them, Lou? Their numbers look right. I don't see, just looking at their channel, any problem. They're the typical, here's my Filipina, I've got an American. So what's with them? Because I don't see any, not even their titles look like a problem. So I'm looking to see if you're responding, Lou, if you're still in the house. Yeah, I don't see anything. Guys having a nice conversation. Sock and sandals. Yeah, the tax money is going to people like you. Okay. Yeah, money that I've paid in. It's not free, you know. So if that's the insinuation of people like me, no, it's bullshit like paying for Trump's arc that he once put up, or all the propaganda that he's the best president and let me print some more posters out that cost $50 million. That's where the tax money is going, and giving away to his buddies and giving it away to countries that are his buddy and all the other bullshit. So bullshit. So my little check is not breaking the bank. So that is not the problem. Why the farmers go down the drain, why they're paying exuberant amounts to these individual people working for Homeland Security. That's where all the fucking money is going. And anybody who questions it is just a bad person. I messaged George a picture of the blueberry cookies. Okay. I do, but I only have like a little machine here. I think I'm gonna buy a bread maker instead of, because I buy a raisin wheat bread that's, I'm sure, full of chemicals and everything, and an oven. Like George said, electricity would cost a bunch. I'm not gonna pay $100 to get an oven. Like buy gas because we'd be cooking all the time in it in situation, or electricity. There'd be a raise. It's not 100 in gas. It'd probably be 100 in electricity if we used it to bake all the time. But I think I am going to look into a bread maker. Maybe see about maybe getting one for Christmas, maybe. Hint, hint, George. The feds about the coming SS short, yeah, and cut 40 years ago did absolutely anything to remedy it. Why don't they use the billions and trillions in tariffs? So that's my question, is that the tariffs are coming in and he keeps saying it's a ton of money. How come that's not going anywhere? So that's, and the ones that are about ready to hit the 1st of November really should be showing something. Well, slowly but surely information's coming out, but a lot of it is supposed to go a certain way. It shouldn't be picking and choosing who's getting paid and who's not. And there's been a lot of that. Yeah, some government agencies are open because they're essential. Yeah, but I think it's vulgar to throw a dinner party in front of the world. He just had that dinner party. It said that it was. I don't think it could. Must have been a different ballroom, not the one he's building, of course. But how are you doing that? I don't care what president it is. It's the action. Some people got that all twisted. It's the action. It doesn't matter that it's no. Don't say it's because we need to wine and dine people. No, shut down pretty much means shut down. Oh, second one's still going on about them cookies. Shame on you, man. See my cat here? He did meow. Yeah, we're gonna start having. We have like a couple others, a Christmas one and a rooster one, and we're just going to. And if George isn't attending, I'll start wearing them. I probably should wear one on each day specifically, but I don't want to get that OCD and that crazy where okay, it's only a yellow on Thursdays and the alligator one on Saturdays. Illegal aliens pay into Social Security and won't receive a dime. Yeah, they're sending that money out of the country. Yeah, yeah, it is weird that that's exactly what's going on. There are so many different theories and things being proven that it just boggles the mind. It really does. How about we change the subject to the Super Bowl? Uh, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea. Socks and sandals, I believe you've been on here before, but they're kind of odd statements. But I'm going to leave that in there because it's a comment and I don't know what a stent in the clink is. So have no idea. I don't have any piercings. Hello, I think you're trying to start something. Not really. He thinks he is. Yeah, socks and sandals. What business is it of yours, anyways? How's that affecting you? I can guess you're about 3 or 4 different people right now. And so you realize only you and one other person cares, and you think I care? Now I get what you're talking about. Butt hurt. Butt hurt. Here's the weird thing, Socks. It shows you've been with the channel for quite some time. Sometimes you don't say negative things, and then other times you go in here and say situations here. So I'm wondering if you're a certain vlogger. I'm not believing you're just an odd person because that same vloggers or vloggers write the same emails and the same messages that get held like your comments in here. Please tell us about your medical issues and medication so we can feel sorry for you. Why would I need to do that? This is the big money and all the sticker money I'm getting for sitting here on a Saturday morning with your asses, that me discussing my medical issues is making somebody feel sorry for me. I live with the bitches. I live with that shit after the goddamn camera goes off. What difference does it make? Okay? The lupus, the cancer, the fucking the got the autoimmune issue, okay, the lupus. Okay, what difference does it make? And what difference if I did a stint or not, pussy ass bitch? Because you sure the fuck wouldn't say it in my face. I'll show you exactly who paid for that stint and how that stint would work out on you. Go ahead, you dumbass. Go back to your fucking channel. Too much of a pussy to come in onto your own channel. I know 100% sure who you are. Heidi knows about the legitimate YouTuber. He's a former SS manager. Yeah, Dr. Weir. Yeah, he is awesome. Informative. Yeah, about Social Security. Yeah, I've been signed up for him for a while. He does give a lot of great information. Highly recommended. He tells it all out there. My daughter went out in the public with socks and sandals. Right? Yeah. Because the federal government is a clown show, doesn't matter which party. Yeah, it's pretty much who's in the White House usually. It's really, but this is the most blatant display I've ever seen. It is ballsy. I got to give it to them. I'm surprised they didn't make like Kanye West vice president or something even way more out there. So 8.3 are collecting disability from Social Security, so it's not just any one person, it's too many people on disability. No, they need to go through and straighten that all out. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. Make them prove it all, redo them. I'm sure that's coming anyways. So, but it's not an easy process anyways. It wasn't easy getting through it the first time. So, I mean, it's not like, I mean, you do have to prove a lot to actually get on it. So, for anybody that's been through it. And mine is a permanent. In other words, I've got a letter before I even left that shows there'll be no room for improvement. Zero. So, it's about as permanent as it's going to get. Because Argentina gets 40 billion instead of 20. Yeah, and the reuse of it is saying that they want to switch their economy from peso to dollar, so it's a replacement for their money. So really it's to be repaid in, I don't know, let's bail out another country again. Super Bowl, not anxious for Bunny, right? Let's Super Bowl. Well, it's supposed to be Bad Bunny. So, honestly, I don't know. I mean, I do know one or two of his songs. I think it's a move to piss off the president. And the others, I don't think it's, just in a personal opinion. I just think that it's, out of all the performers, but it's, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason on who they choose anymore. Oh, because you pay taxes. Yeah, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do there, Sands and Sandals. Hey, what's going on? Black Grandpa is in the house. Oh, okay. We can start our own sourdough starter. Gotcha. Where does all the money go and the government collects? Yeah, how about 36 trillion for national debt? Yeah, the interest to fund national debt is more than the entire department defense budget. Yeah. There is socks. Why don't you ask why we're funding the genocide? That's insane. You know, I get to that point. How come he stood up and bragged how he gave all the weapons so the other guy could do what he had to do, what he had to do? Outright admitting war crimes right there in front of the world. That was the most disgusting thing. And not everybody over there is Hamas. The whole point is there was no need in all that. He bragged about giving him what he needed when he needed, and then he used it well. And I'm like, what the fuck? What a shitty individual. What a bunch of shit. I just don't get the world these days. And I'm the problem. I'm a problem. Worry about other shit, man. Mark, the federal government is a ball of chaos. It's not going to get fixed. It's going to destroy itself. Well, let's see, because today's the 18th already. So when does this parade of people get out there? No King's Day start. You're absolutely right, and they'll continue, won't they? He just commuted the lying ex-congressman's sentence. Oh boy. I have no idea who Bad Bunny is and don't care. I prefer my the Duduk meditation music YouTube videos or current pop music. So yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, they just had Bad Bunny on SNL. So I've been watching SNL and God, I've been watching SNL forever. Absolutely hilarious. So, all right, guys, I think I'm going to keep it at the hour and a half and wrap this up. So I appreciate everybody coming in here. And thank you to those that are joining and the others that are in the room. Okay. And appreciate it. And until next time, which will be Tuesday or sooner if something else comes up, just going to chill for the day. And thank you to our members that are in the house. Lucca's here. Sarah's in the house. Laura, thank you so much. Let's see. Black Grandpa came in the house. Second Wind, thank you. Second Wind, you need to sign up for your membership. Let's see. Raymond, thank you so much. Mark, thank you for being here. Raymond. And everybody else that was here, thank you. And talk to you guys later.